Hello, welcome to another video from EarnPed.com. I'm Stevie B. Happy to have you all with me today. Let's take some big sips to get this started. I'm currently on rank 25 of Longtooth for Summer Migration 2023. Today is August 5th, 2023. I had planned to be done with migration by now, but I've had to deal with some stuff in real life, and of course I had my housekeeper flake on me at the last moment, as well as my assistant. So I've been covered up, and then with work and everything, guys, I'm just a little bit behind schedule. But since I'm going to be finishing up migration this weekend, and then heading off to Arcadia and Cyrene, I wanted to shoot a video now, or a series of videos, but this is going to be the first one, because they're going to become important later. So most of us are pretty familiar with fapping. So whenever we take damage, we pull out our healing device, our fast aid pack, not first aid pack, our fast aid pack, and we fap, we heal ourselves. And most of us are fairly familiar with this concept. We usually get the Vivo S10 at the Gauntlet as brand new players, and we use it because, not necessarily because it's an unlimited item, it is, but because it's got actually pretty good healing capabilities. And then once we max that out and that no longer does the job, our HP just gets too high, we move on to other faps. And we've talked about the next island faps before. So we're not going to talk about faps in this video. In this video, we're going to talk about regeneration chips. The reason I bring up faps at the start of the video is regeneration chips are essentially just Mindforce faps. That is all that they are. A regeneration chip is a Mindforce version of a fap. Now, a regeneration chip is not to be confused with a restoration chip, which is also Mindforce based and also provides healing capabilities. Restoration chips are a completely different beast we will get to in the video after this one. I've actually already got that video shot. But I want to do this video first because this is very, very important. And not only is this going to be important for today's video and tomorrow's video, this is going to be important moving forward as we explore Cyrene and as we talk about end game play, and as we go into many other things I have planned for videos that we're going to be doing. So let's jump right into it. So first of all, I want to look at the stats on the fap that I typically use, my go-to fap. So this is the Refurb Heart rank 6. This is a item that you get from a mission chain on planet Cyrene, which we will cover in a video when we get to planet Cyrene. So it is account bound, it is unlimited, but those really aren't the important facts. The important fact about this fap is it's got some pretty cool buffs that come with it. But right now, I just want to look at the basic stats. So this is the fap that I've been using for probably the past year. I don't do a lot of fapping. That is one of the reasons that my paramedic skills lack so terribly, is because of my hunting style being so far below where my defense skills and my hunting skills are, and with the lifesteal and gear that I have, I just don't do a lot of healing. So I've never done a lot of fapping, and it's hurt me in game because of the fact that my paramedic profession really just has not grown as a result. But this is my go-to fap when I do fap. So taking a look at the stats, we can see that the basic profession is paramedic, which is going to be true for your faps. Whenever you're talking regular faps, they all use the paramedic profession almost universally. Learning period is paramedic 5 through 7, which I've clearly got maxed out. I'm at 30.5. So if we look at the heal interval, it's 18 to 24. And we notice that it's got 22 uses per minute. So look at this heal interval and look at the uses per minute. Heal interval 18 to 24, 22 uses per minute. And then this fap has a very interesting buff, which we really don't need to talk about in this video, but heal by 150% of heal for 5 seconds. So I know you guys won't be able to see it because the banner's at the bottom of the screen, but I'm actually going to go ahead and activate this fap. And I healed for 7.3, and then I healed for another 12, and then another 12. So, and then 1.3. So it healed me for 7.3 at the beginning, and then 12, and then 12, and then 7.3. So that buff really is kind of tricky in how it works, because it messes with the heal interval pretty much. I'll just leave it at that, and we'll go into a deep dive on that in a later video. But now I want you guys to look at a regeneration chip Not a restoration chip, a regeneration chip, because regeneration chips are essentially just Mindforce faps. So this is the one that I recently got just the other day. This is the Regeneration Chip 6. So let's look at the stats on it. So we see that it uses the Biotropic profession, and that's very important. Biotropic is to Mindforce healing what Paramedic is to regular healing. So just think of Biotropic as Paramedic for Mindforce. That's going to be very, very important later on in this discussion and as we continue to talk about FAPS, Mindforce, and Planet Cyrene moving forward. And we notice that the learning period is 8.9 through 14, which I am more than capable of using at 18.8. We also notice that it has 22 uses per minute and a heal interval of 37.5 to 50. Now this one doesn't have any special buff. But look at that for a second. Heal interval 37.5 to 50. Uses per minute 22. Let's compare these side by side. I'm going to pin it. And let's pull out my regular FAP. I'm going to stop hunting for a second. I want to compare these side by side. I want to be sure you guys can see both of them. Both of these items can be used 22 times per minute, so about 2.8 seconds per use. Both of them are healing devices. Both have a heal interval. This one happens to be 18 through 24. This one happens to be 37.5 through 50. Now forget that this one has a buff on it. Forget that altogether. It's literally just a Mindforce FAP. That is it. That's literally all that it does. The only difference is the icon on the screen. They literally copy and pasted the item, and they just changed the heal interval, changed the decay rate, but the uses per minute are even exactly the same. And you see this across regeneration chips. Most, if not all, regeneration chips have 22 uses per minute, because that tends to be pretty standard for most of your FAPs that are out there. So what are the big differences? Well, one thing I want you to look at is notice that over here you don't have anything about ammo burn or any kind of ammo. But if we look at the Mindforce chip, we see that that's not true. We do have ammo. In fact, it uses synthetic mind essence, which can be bought from the trade terminal, or it can use universal ammo. And notice it uses 333 per use, whether it's universal ammo or synthetic mind essence. So what this means is that my regular FAP is pure decay. My Regeneration Chip 6, which is just a Mindforce FAP, is decay plus ammo burn. And that's an important distinction to make for a myriad of reasons. Skilling, shrapnel conversion, all of that. But the biggest takeaway I wanted you guys to get from this video, the absolute biggest takeaway, is simply to realize that literally regeneration chips are literally just a Mindforce FAP. That is all that it is. And I wanted you guys to see how similar it is to the FAP that I've been using on the daily basis. It's very, very, very similar. And yeah, there are a few nuances, like the fact that it's a mixture of decay plus ammo burn. But the biggest takeaway is just for people to understand that regeneration chips are fapping for Mindforce. And the reason that's so important is this Biotropic profession, this Mindforce Paramedic profession that we call Biotropic. Biotropic is an incredibly, incredibly, incredibly important profession if you ever intend to reach the highest levels of the game. If you ever intend to get to end game play, Biotropic is incredibly, incredibly important, mainly because of those limited restoration chips we will talk about in the next video. They are complete game changers, and yes, they do heal, and yes, they are Mindforce based, but they are not a Mindforce FAP by any stretch. They are incredibly, incredibly important, and we'll get to that in the next video. But I wanted you to take away that these regeneration chips are just Mindforce FAPs, and that they use this Biotropic profession because of how important Biotropic is to the game whenever you get to the higher levels of the game. Whenever you get to the biggest creatures in the game, into gameplay, and the best gear in game. If you're going to take this game seriously at all, Biotropic is going to be something you're going to want to pay attention to. Now, here's the thing. It's embarrassing to admit that my Biotropic is only 18.8. I have done very, very, very little fapping. So my Paramedic is only 30.5, which that's bad enough. But to have a Biotropic at 18.8, that is even worse. Now, Biotropic is fairly hard to grow because Biotropic, the profession, 45% of that profession is just Bioregenesis, the skill. Bioregenesis, the skill, has a 45% contribution to our skill piggy bank for Biotropic, the profession. And until literally earlier this week, I had never used a regeneration chip before. So all of my Biotropic profession level comes from all the other skills that contribute to it other than Bioregenesis. And Bioregenesis contributes 45%, so the biggest contributor by far. Now that's important because over the next 6 months or so, you're going to see my Bioregenesis jump through the roof. And as a result, you're going to see my Biotropic level shoot through the roof. Ideally, I want to hit level 100 Biotropic to be able to use those limited Restoration Chip 20s that we'll talk about in the next video. That goal is a lofty goal that is going to be quite a ways off, but my Biotropic is going to shoot up violently. It's going to be a straight line up from here on out. So I want you guys to understand how important it is, because now that I've unlocked quickness, yes, I am going to be working on unlocking intuition via Mindforce, but my Biotropic profession is, as of right now, my main in-game focus because of how important it is going to be to in-game play. And I'm going to be very, very close to what I'm going to consider my in-game here in the fairly near future. It's only a few more months off. It cannot be that much further away. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to be the highest level in the game. It doesn't mean I'm going to have the highest profession rankings or the highest HP or any of that. But everything that I want to do is converging at the same time to where I'm almost to the point that I've wanted to be at for the past 6 years. But in order to get there, I've got to pump up a couple of things. A, I've got to unlock intuition. B, I've got to get my looter skills more on par with where they should be. And C, probably the most important of the three, is I've got to get that Biotropic profession pushed through the roof. Now, there is a game plan, and why this is so important will become obvious in the next video when we talk about those limited restoration chips. Again, they are not the same thing as regeneration chips. So I want to cover the regeneration chips first. That way you guys understood this. Now, to put in context regeneration chips for you, I have a couple of Regen 1s that I've been throwing on auction, and they go for about TT plus 8, TT plus 9. So for less than $1 worth of markup, you can get a Regeneration Chip 1 and start skilling Mindforce Fapping. A Regeneration Chip 3 is usually TT plus 15 to 20. So for literally $2 or less worth of markup, you can get a Regeneration Chip 3. The Regeneration Chip 6 that I currently have, the one that I just got that I just started skilling with, it is usually TT plus about 150-ish. So for, all of, 15-ish bucks, you can get a really good Regen Chip 6. Whenever you get above that, they get pretty pricey pretty quick. The Regeneration Chip 10, there actually happens to be one on auction right now. It's over 4,000 ped. That seems a little bit excessive to me, but hey, who am I to say? Now, the Regeneration Chip 11 is a whole different beast. For a long time, that was a Mindarc only item. And in fact, they had an event where there was a Mindarc controlled avatar nicknamed Xenobiologist something or another, who showed up and was healing people with the Regeneration Chip 11. And it was a Mindarc only item, and then shortly after that, it was discovered, actually during a migration, I believe, of all things. I believe it dropped from an Emon. And there are very, very few of them in game. They're exceedingly rare, exceedingly valuable. If you want to get a Regeneration Chip 11, you're going to be looking at probably 10, 11, 12,000 ped, somewhere in there, worth of markup. So Regeneration Chip 10, 3,500, 4,000 ped. Regeneration Chip 11, 10 to 12,000 ped. Regeneration Chip 3, TT plus 15 to 20. Regeneration Chip 6, TT plus, 140, 150. So Regeneration Chip 1, 2, 3, very, very, very economical. Regeneration Chip 6, very economical. 7, I haven't really explored that much. I might look into a 7, 8, or a 9. I doubt I ever use a Regeneration Chip 10. That's just me, because of how I intend to skill. But I wanted to get that information out there to you guys, because I want you guys to understand these basics of Mindforce healing, Mindforce fapping, and Biotropic before we move forward and talk about limited restoration chips. So I will leave it there for today. Sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Head over to earnped.com because when you earn, we earn. It is by far the best way you guys can help to support us. Simply use the links on earnped.com and they will take you to hideout.tv. Hideout will automatically add us as a redemption option for your hideout points. Guys, let me point out, hideped.com, earnped.com, it's earnped.com, P-E-D, earnped.com. There's no S. That is a completely separate website. It is in the singular. Earnped, earnped.com. There is no S anywhere in the domain name. I've had a couple of people over the past 6 months who have gotten confused with that. If there is an S in the domain name, you're on the wrong website. Guys, also be sure and do as the banner ad at the bottom suggests and use that subscribe button and that bell icon. That will help keep you up to date with all the latest content that we put out. Also, please hit that bell icon on every single video we post. It helps us combat the trolls and the haters, but it also helps us get more exposure for the videos. It helps the YouTube algorithm put our videos in front of more people who are into PC gaming, RCE games, real cash economy gaming, and these people are signing up. They're starting to play the game after they see the videos, and a lot of times these videos are the first time they hear of Entropia, and you guys are making a big difference because you guys hit the bell icon, the subscribe button, and the like button. And because you guys are giving us that reach and getting us on the right side of the algorithm, these people are now becoming part of the community, part of the economy. They're starting to share this hobby, this passion, and they're sending us emails telling us to thank you guys for hitting those buttons. So not only do we thank you for doing it because it helps the channel, but there are new players in Entropia right now, today, that are only here because you guys hit those buttons to help support us and help get us that reach. So please keep it up. You guys are making a huge impact. Please keep it up, and thank you so very much. So from earnped.com, I've been Stevie B, sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Take care, Stevies.